Sooner Scoop HD.
One time it's offense, one time it's been defensively too. So still searching for that.
You mentioned kind of their starts, and obviously Saturday didn't really want to.
You know what? It just got to start with a complete focus and toughness and consistent effort. That's before trying to put magic dust and trying to change lineups, all this stuff. We might make subtle changes, but it isn't this. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. It's got to start with a consistent toughness, enthusiastic, togetherness bounce, and that's the message. Of just we've done things, we've been there in terms of competing and beating some of the best teams, and we haven't played well with the exception of one game in 2 weeks. And so what we're doing is we've got to get back to why we're good. We've got to be connected defensively. We've got to play with this great grit. And we didn't play with grit last game. There wasn't the grit we need to beat the teams we're playing. And that's what the message is. Not like, hey, we're going to make these 4 changes and we're going to win. No, we got to get back to grit, passion, belief. We got to rebound. We got to rebound. We got into massive foul trouble in West Virginia, with Tanner fouling out in 11 minutes and Sam fouling out in 13. We were just talking about with Yaya having that season-ending injury before the game started on games like that, to have another big with the size in there. But, against Baylor, it's going to come into play this game. We did some good things. You got to have so much attention. Their guards are so good. Cryer, Flagler, George, Bonner, and Bridges, that then you got to go rebound it. And they had 30 second chance points. So that's what we're starting back. That's our message, man. Belief, togetherness, grit, and that's what I didn't see. That was the first time, maybe the second time, counting the second half, that's what we're getting back to.
Cool, yes. Porter, I know you said starts were great, but I do want to ask about a different rotation where Jalen Hill was playing some small ball 5. I know those mostly out of necessity with Tanner and Sam foul trouble, but what about him makes him someone that you can put in that position, and just what does he kind of bring to the table when he's lined up there?
Yeah, Jalen's the most unbelievable team guy. He'll go wherever you want him to go. It wasn't ideal because West Virginia is so big. It's not what we went into the game doing. But very rarely you think you got 10 fouls in 24 minutes between your centers, so you had to find 16 with that. There's times I do think the matchup lends to a small ball lineup. We've experienced with that, but that was out of necessity. Heck, we had Jacob Groves at the 5 out of SC, and that's the thing that really hurt us. It was 6:58. It was a 4-point game. I've never seen an onslaught that all of a sudden, next thing you know, they scored a basket. We took a shot and then just recklessly just went and fouled mindlessly, which they're in the bonus, and they went 2 more. Next thing you know, it's 8 within like 15 seconds. Come down, bad transition D and 1, and it's 11 in like 30 seconds. And that's the kind of things you can't have, especially when you're trying to find your way back as a team. But yeah, the small ball lineup, Jalen's the best, man. I love him. You can put him anywhere, but that's not what we went into the West Virginia game with how big they were and physical inside.
Kind of feels like it starts with Tanner, and when he gets into early foul trouble, it kind of gets tough. At this point of his career, how do you sort of get that message across to him about how vital and important it is that he's that?
It's exactly the message we talked to him about. I go, you can't have mindless fouls. You might get a foul, you get a foul, but you can't have mindless ones like he just 2 hands grabbed a guard on a back cut and he just come down an offensive rebound looking at the thing and just ran over a guy. He's too important to us, especially with the fact that I'm redshirting one big and the other big's out. Now I'm down to Sam and him. We need him on the floor. Same with Sam. Sam had a play where we normally reach for the lights and he came down like this and got a foul. I go, Sam, I talked to both of them. You got to be smarter. We can't have 10 fouls, one guy in 11, one guy 13 foul out. And so the message has been sent. We talked to him a lot about it. He just got to be smarter. You're going to get some fouls, but you can't have the silly fouls. That's the message.
and that was the first half minutes for Joe during conference play.
Yeah.
Did you like what you saw there? Does athletic ability still kind of shining through?
Yeah, the message with Joe has been, and we've been in constant communication with him, is the intensity, effort, the offensive efficiency, and defensive efficiency. Defensive, learning what we're doing, being where we need to be. Offensively, in what we're doing and his effort. All three of those areas have been better the last 2-3 weeks. We kind of went into that game, knowing that Joe was going to be in the rotation early. And we feel the same way. I thought he had some good things, like athletically, he blocked that shot from behind. He did that in the Arkansas game. He does some things athletically. But I think his effort and his efficiency has really improved the last 2 weeks, and you'll see him again at Baylor.
You guys have lost so many close games this year. Obviously, the last few haven't been that, but is it easier to emphasize the importance of the attention to detail when it snowballs and gets out of hand like it has been, where you guys maybe haven't had as much good attention to detail?
Yeah, that's an absolute thing that's happened. When it has, in the close games, back and forth, our attention to detail is pretty good. It just seems like when the other team's gotten a bigger separation of late, it hasn't been, this leadership together focus on getting stops, good possessions. Like I said before, we had a turnover and one. We had just a missed shot, a good shot, missed shot, but just a mindlessly ran to the ball and fouled. That's when a team's making a run, you just don't want silly fouls. They're in bonus. And I think that's a big thing is handling another team's run. Is you do it by good possessions. Absolutely back to just getting stops. And we haven't been able to do that. We lost Stevenson a couple times in that run. They were just in the bonus so early. And we were trying to do some things playing, we don't really ever play Jacob Groves at the 5. And we were kind of thrown into some situations that we normally wouldn't be with the tremendous foul trouble between the other two.
Sooner Scoop HD.